Hi everyone, welcome to class today. We are going to be doing a 45-minute beginner mat class, as always designed to be challenging, but lots of modifications to make sure that you are listening to your body today. Let's go ahead and get started. So we are going to start with a little bit of a plank series. So we're going to start on our forearms. So come on down to your forearms. We're going to find plank position here on your knees. So I want you to think about the engagement of your core in this position. So I don't want your hips dipping so low to the mat that the tension moves into your low back. Really think about scooping up through your abs so that they're engaged as we're in this plank position. You can have your legs resting down on the mat. If you want it to be a little more difficult, you can lift them up and just touch your toes together. As far as our forearms go, you can have them just parallel to each other. And what we're going to do is just rock our hips back and then forward. Back and forward. Really, really slowly, moving with control here. We're just starting to warm up our shoulders, warming up our core. Our abdominals are waking up here, our hip flexors. You can engage that booty as well. Think about using the strength of your abs to push your hips back and then rock forward until your shoulders are over your elbows. Just going to stay here for a little bit, rocking back and forth, gently warming up this morning. Remember to breathe. We're not holding our breath in plank here. And if the rocking becomes too much, you can most definitely take the rock out and you can just hold your plank here if that's preferable for you. Doing great. All right, let's just do a couple more. My core is definitely awake already. All right. And then let's just bring your belly all the way down to the ground, rest your legs down, palms down on the mat, and we're just going to press our rib cage toward the mat as we lift our head up as we go into this back extension. So we're just kind of stretching out that core, giving our back a little bit of a release. Deep breath here. All right, awesome. We are going to go into a straight arm plank now, still on our knees. So instead of being on our forearms, we're going to be keeping the same form with the knees. We're just going to straighten our arms. So in this position, I want you to think about taking the angle out of your hip flexors. So by that, I mean dropping your hips so that you have a straight line from your knees all the way up to your armpits. This definitely takes a little bit of practice, and I'm still working on it as well. So you're going to try and find that sweet spot where you are, again, not dipping down so that the work goes into your lower back. We don't want that. That's not safe for the lumbar spine. The work is still in your abdominal wall. We're just taking out that angle from your hip flexors as much as possible. So in this position, we're going to do those same rocking planks. So we rock back and forward, really, really slowly, moving with control. I also want you to keep a soft bend in your elbows. So exactly what we were doing before, just with straight arms. Your neck is nice and neutral, so your gaze is down toward the mat. Long neck, long arms, long torso. Everything is elongated in this position. Again, you can keep your feet down on the mat to make it a little bit easier, or if you'd like it to be a little more challenging, you can keep your toes up, touching with your knees bent. If this is a little bit too much on your wrists today, you can always come into that neutral grip where you're on your fists, and that'll take the pressure off your wrists. Always an option. Really starting to fire up all the muscles that we're going to be working today. Great job. Just do a few more. Remember to breathe, soft bend in the elbows. Only coming as far forward as your shoulders are going to be over your wrists. Engage that glute. Let's just do one more, and then we'll do that little back extension stretch again. Great job. So lower yourself down, and we'll do that back extension. So palms down on the mat. Stretch your rib cage down toward the mat as we look up. Give a nice back extension with a few deep breaths. You don't have to have a high intensity workout to start sweating, start breathing a little heavier. Great job. Okay. We are going to go into a full plank now. So we're going to be on our toes with straight arms. Again, remember soft bend in the toes. A good way to get into a proper plank is if you're in your 4-point kneeling position, and we're just going to place one foot back and then really brace the core, deep breath, and we exhale as we place the other foot behind us. Now, if you just want to hold a plank right here, that's great. But if you'd like to go a little bit for a challenge today, we're going to do 3 sets of 4 mountain climbers. So we're going to cross one knee over to the opposite elbow and back, then the other knee to the opposite elbow. We're going to do it 2 more times. Very nice. And then rest down, lean back into a child's pose. So we're going to do 2 more sets of 4 mountain climbers like that, moving really, really slowly, very controlled, really starting to burn out those muscles. All right, we get back into our plank position. 4 mountain climbers. Nice and slow. Micro bend in your elbows. We're breathing. Abs are on. And rest. Down to child's pose. Amazing job. We have 1 more set of those 4 mountain climbers. Really starting to warm up the bodies. We come up into plank and we start the 4. Moving with so much intention, squeezing our abs, breathing. Hold this plank for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great job. Whew. That was our plank series. Amazing job. Let's go ahead and stretch out our wrists a little bit since we were just working them. So let's clasp our hands together and glue our forearms together and just make a little circle with our wrists. Kind of release all that work we were just doing. Really gentle little stretch, switch directions. Very nice. Feels good to stretch those out. And then let's place one arm straight in front of us with our palms facing away and just pull our fingers back really gently. You can give a micro bend in your elbow for a little bit of a deeper stretch. Flip the palms so the palm is facing you and gently press your hand towards your body. And then we'll switch. Other hand, palm away, gently pull those fingers back towards you. Taking care of that wrist health. Then we flip the palm and gently pull it toward you. Great job. All right, we're going to go into a 4-point kneeling position again, but we are going to be down on one forearm, so it's not going to be as hard on your wrists. So let's come down onto our right forearm, and our left arm is going to be straight with a little bit of a micro bend in it, and we're going to be working our left leg first. So we're going to do some hip circles. So let's go ahead and send our knee back, keeping our knee at a 90-degree angle, open it out to the side, and then bring it back to that beginning position. So we're just making little circles, thinking about drawing that circle with your knee, warming up those hips, warming up the abs because they're still engaged in this position. Keeping your neck nice and neutral, so you're just gazing down at the mat. Keeping the back of your neck long. Put some more weight into that straight, into the left arm that's straight here. Put some more weight into that palm, so we're not leaning over to compensate for this left leg that's working. Lean into that working side. Trying to keep your hips square to the ground so we're not completely opening up our hip here. That would take the work out of it. We want to make sure we're getting all the work. Let's reverse motions here. So we reverse the circle. So we go out to the side, back, and then to the beginning position. We're still breathing. Our abs are on. Great job. Really warming up both glutes here. Moving at your own pace. All right, I'm going to scoot forward on my mat a little bit because we're going to be straightening that working leg, and we're going to go from one corner of our mat, draw a little rainbow, and then to the other corner of our mat. So we're just making a little half circle here with our leg. All of this work is coming from your glutes. I want you to think about how both your hip bones are still facing down toward the mat. So your hip, your left hip is not open here. It's square to the mat. That's going to make sure that all the work is coming from that left glute and hamstring. If it's uncomfortable to be down on your forearm, you can definitely come back up onto both hands. Whatever feels comfortable for you. I just don't want to overwork our wrists today. But if it feels more comfortable, whatever feels good on your wrists. Doesn't make too much of a difference for your glutes, whether you're on your forearm or your hands. Great job. Let's go ahead and just come back in a child's pose. Widen those knees, put the toes together, and we're just going to stretch forward, give your booty a little break. Deep breath. Very nice. All right, we're going to come back into that position, same position we were just in, and continue to work the same leg. So still down on the right forearm. We're just going to do some donkey kicks in this position, starting with that left leg. So we're going to flex the foot and kick it back up, and then back to the beginning position. Kick back slowly like you're moving through molasses. So we're not just throwing it up there with momentum. We are making sure to move with intention, slowly burning out these muscles. Again, you don't have to be down on your forearm. You can be up on both palms if it's more comfortable for you. And I'll remind you also to keep those hips square down to the ground. So your left hip is not open as we do these. It is, both hip bones are facing down to the ground. Great job. We're still breathing, abs are engaged. Really, really feel this in my booty and in the right underneath the booty. A little bit of hamstring work in here too. Great job. All right, we're going to go into attitude now. So let's bring it up to donkey kick, and we're going to hold it here. I want you to point the toe, and then we are going to open up the hip now. So instead of your thigh facing down toward the mat, I want you to shift, do a little external hip rotation so your thigh is, the side of your thigh is facing down to the mat now. And what we're going to do is bring this top ankle down to your bottom ankle, whoop, and then back up. So we touch ankle to ankle with this external hip rotation. Whew, this works both glutes so much. Again, if it's easier to do this with both palms on the mat, that is definitely an option. I think I'm going to go with this option because it makes it a little more manageable for me. You also don't have to bring it all the way down to the ankle. You can just kind of keep it up there. That makes it a little bit harder. You don't have to go as high up to make it a little bit easier. You can just bring it a couple inches up as opposed to going all the way up. We're still breathing. Our abs are engaged. Let's do one more. Whew! Oh my goodness. Back to child's pose. Oh my goodness. That really burned out the glutes and the hamstrings on both sides, not just the working side. Amazing job. All right, we're going to switch sides. Whew. So we're going to repeat that on the other side. So now we're going to be working the right leg. So we come down onto our left forearm. If you want, you can, as I said, you can stay up on both palms if you'd like to. And we're just going to start with those hip circles in this position. So we start going back out to the side, circle back to our beginning spot. Back to the side and beginning. Hips square to the ground, abs are engaged. You're still breathing. We have a neutral cervical spine, which is the top part of your spine. So you're looking down at your mat. You're not looking up ahead of you, and you're not looking down at your legs. Just a neutral gaze to keep the back of your neck nice and long. Great job. We're moving very slow and controlled, but I'll tell you what, I'm like dripping sweat right now. This is very challenging. Like I said, you don't need a high intensity exercise to get your heart rate up and to get your body sweating. Let's reverse the circle. So we go out to the side and shift it back and to our beginning. Think about drawing that circle with your kneecap. Only making as big of a circle as you're able to while keeping your hips square to the ground. Don't collapse down into your shoulders. We're staying nice and engaged. And the upper body. Great job. One more. Awesome. I'm going to shift forward a little bit because we're going to do that little rainbow shape. So point the toe, extend the leg from one corner of the mat. We draw a half circle to the other corner and back up. You don't have to go corner to corner of your mat if that's a little bit too much. You can make the motion a little bit smaller. You don't have to go as high with your leg. There's a lot of ways to make this move more manageable. The main thing I want you to think about is not going so high that you start to arch your back. We want your back to stay nice and stable in this position, not compromising our form just to get a bigger range of motion. Hips are still square to the mat. I'll remind you of that a million more times. Very good. Great job. Let's just do one more. And we get a little break for child's pose. We're about 20 minutes into class today. Almost halfway through. Great job. Deep breaths. All right, let's come back into that same position we were in with our left elbow bent Still working that right leg. We're going to do those donkey kicks. So we flex the foot, keep a 90-degree angle in your knee, and we just slowly kick it up like we're moving through the water with intention, creating that resistance with our own body weight. Abs are engaged. Remember not to go so high that it starts to arch your back. We're still breathing. Man, my booty is like screaming right now. We are really, really working all those deep muscles. Let's just do a couple more, and then we'll do that attitude. All right, hold it up here. In donkey kick, we point the toe and we externally rotate our hip so that the side of our thigh is now facing down to the ground. And we touch ankle to ankle and lift it back up as far as you're able to. It doesn't have to be as high as I am. Really engaging your core, getting out of your shoulders. We're breathing, moving slowly, not with momentum, but with all the strength of your strong glutes in this position. You are getting so much stronger. All movement is good movement. So whatever intensity level you're at today is great. Make sure you're listening to your body. If you need to take a break, take a break. This is not easy. You're doing a hard thing. One more. Amazing job. Whew. Oh my goodness, come down into that child's pose. Wiggle your booty a little bit. Whew. Wag the tail. Whew. Great job. Allow your body to relax for a moment. All right, we're going to do some inner thigh work now. So we're going to be down on our side. I'm getting down on my left side here. And I'm going to extend my arm and just rest my head on my bicep. We're going to be balancing on our trochanter, which is that little hip bone that kind of juts out of the side of your hips here. We're going to try and balance on that. And to help us do that, definitely recruit this top arm to kind of keep your body balanced. What we're going to do is point the toes. We're going to lift the top leg up just to about hip height. And what we're going to try to do is lift the bottom leg so that our bottom toes touch our top toes. Rest the bottom leg down, rest the top leg. Top leg up, bottom leg down, top leg down. So this is really working your inner thighs. You don't have to lift your top leg as high. And you also your bottom leg doesn't have to touch your bottom toes either. Just do what you can, whatever feels good for your body. Really focusing on the strength of your inner thigh to get that bottom leg up off the ground is really the main goal here. Engage your abs. Again, trying to balance on that side body, the trochanter, that hip bone that juts out. We're breathing, moving very slowly, because again, we don't want to use momentum. We want to be using the strength of our inner thighs. That's what's going to continue to build that muscle. Moving with intention. Very good. All right, you can go ahead and prop your head up onto your hand if you'd like, or you can come up on your elbow if you want to. So what we're going to do now, we're going to place this top leg behind our bottom leg, and you can come off that trochanter now. So we'll kind of shift back a little bit onto our butt. And what we're going to do is just bicycle this bottom leg. I think I might come up on my elbow. Actually, this feels a little bit more natural. So what we're going to do is bicycle this bottom leg. So I want you to bend the knee, send it out long in front of you, and then back to our starting point. So we bicycle Slowly, we're just kind of making a little bit of a stirring motion here, as if you were riding a bike. With this leg, I want you to try and keep this back leg as still as possible. I know it's not going to be completely still, but we don't want it to be shifting around a bunch. Also, super engage your core here. That's going to help a lot with this motion of your leg. Doing great, really working the inner thighs. Great job. Make sure you're getting out of your shoulders here as well, so we're not just letting our upper body collapse. We want to make sure that we're nice and strong, getting out of our shoulders. One more. Okay, now hold it out. We're going to flex our foot now. What I want you to do is crunch your elbow or your knee up into your abs, send it back out long, and then just pulse it up once. So we crunch, lengthen, pulse. Crunch, lengthen, pulse. Going at your own pace. You can take out the pulse if that's a little bit too much for you. You can just crunch it in and out, in and out. Go at your own pace. You don't have to go the same speed as I am going. Whatever feels controlled in your body, whatever feels intentional in your body, that's what I want you to listen to. Don't listen to my body. Listen to your body. Great job. Whew. We're burning it out and getting a little ab crunch at the same time. Great job. Hold it out, point the toe, and we're just going to pulse it up there to the diagonal. So we have this external hip rotation here too. So the side of your thigh is pointing up, your kneecap is pointing over there. We pulse. You don't have to go as high. You can bring it down a little bit, whatever feels good to you in your body. Great job. All right, bring it down. Oh my goodness. Let's give a little butterfly stretch. Come to a seated position, bottoms of your feet together, and we're going to stretch out that inner thigh. So spine nice and tall, and we just lean forward till we feel that hip, or till we feel the inner thigh stretch out. Oh, feels good. I love inner thigh work. Love working the inner thighs. It just feels like, I don't know, I feel like it doesn't take a whole lot to feel your inner thighs start to work, and that feels very satisfying to me. All right, we're going to do that on the other side now. So coming down onto the right side, keeping that bottom arm completely extended, and I'm just going to rest my head on my bicep. We're balancing on the trochanter, that side little hip bone, placing that top hand on the mat in front of you to help you balance. We're going to do those leg beats first. So we point the toes, top leg goes up as far as you're able to, bottom toes come up to meet it, bottom leg down, top leg down, top leg up, bottom leg up, bottom leg down, top leg down. Keep going at your own pace at whatever level of intensity you are feeling today. Doesn't really matter how high you're able to lift either leg. I really think you're going to feel this one in your inner thighs regardless. Keep your abs engaged. Really recruit that top hand in front of you to help you balance. Moving super slow and controlled. Still breathing. I feel like my breath is finally evening out from all the work we were doing in 4-point kneeling and plank. This is helping my breath calm down a little bit. Breathe a little easier in this position. Just do 2 more. And 1. Great job. All right, we're gonna lean back on our booty a little bit. I'm gonna come up on my elbow, and then we're gonna place that top leg behind the bottom leg. Foot is flat back here. Really get out of your shoulders, nice and structured in the upper body. Abs are on. We're gonna point that bottom leg and we're gonna bicycle. So we crunch up, extend to the side, and sweep it back to our starting point. There we go. Trying to keep this back leg as stable as I can, as stable as I'm able to. I am super recruiting my abs to help me in this bicycle motion. We're keeping an external hip rotation through this whole series here. Like I said, your inner thigh is pointing up toward the ceiling, kneecap is pointing out to the side. Get out of your shoulders, press away from the mat. Nice. Great job. One more. Awesome. And then we're going to crunch it in, flex the foot, crunch it in, send it out, pulse it up. So we crunch, lengthen, pulse up. Remember, we have that external hip rotation. That's what's going to help us feel the inner thigh. Keeping your abs on. We're still breathing. You are so strong. This is hard. We're metabolizing our stress away. We're clearing our mind, strengthening our muscles. It's a win-win. Great job. Let's just do one more. And then we hold it out, point the toe, and then we're just gonna pulse up. You can have it out to the diagonal a little bit more, and that's obviously gonna make it a little harder. So the closer it is to your body, to your midline here, it's gonna make it easier. You can pulse down closer to the mat. Even if you just want to do an isometric hold and just hold it right there. Hey, whatever works for you. You're working your body here no matter what. Whew, I am trembling. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great job. Whew, come on up to a seated position. And we'll do that butterfly stretch. So bottoms of the feet together, spine is nice and tall, and we just lean forward so we can feel that inner thigh stretch out. Whew, great job. Deep breaths. Whew, feels great on the hip flexors, this one too. Trying to keep your spine as long as possible. All right. All right, we're going to go into a core series now on our backs. So come onto your back. Feet are down on the mat. Knees are bent. What we're going to do is just get into a neutral spine here. So I want you to think about having about a fist width between your chin and your chest. This is going to protect your cervical spine and keep it nice and neutral. I want you to think about your back having a little bit of a gap between the back and your mat, and your spine is neutral, meaning that if I were to place a little teacup on your lower abs here, it wouldn't be tilting back towards you or splashing all around. So you want to have an even plane between your hip bones and your pubic bone. So if you were to place this little triangle right in that area, it would be a horizontal plane, okay? Now that we're in neutral, we're going to do some ab prep here. So I want you to shoot energy out through your fingers, lift them up off the mat as we lift our head and our shoulder blades off the mat, stopping right at the shoulder blades, right at the breastbone, and then we come down. We're not holding our breath. We go as we come up, hold it, and slowly lower your head back down. This is ab prep, making sure your knees aren't falling open. They're in line with your hips. Keep that fist width between chin and chest. Very nice. Breathe however it feels normal to you. Very good. We peel our head off the mat, peel your shoulder blades, send energy through those fingers, and lower yourself slowly. Our abs are already awake, but they are working hard in this position. Really, the whole abdominal wall is engaged here. Very good. Keep going. Let's just do one more. Great job. And come back down. All right, we're gonna bring our legs to tabletop. So we have a 90-degree angle in our legs. I don't want you to bring your knees so far back that you lose the core action here. So bring your knees out to about, if you straighten your arms and place your palms against your knees, that's about where I want your knees to be. So your knees are stacked over your hips. In a tabletop position, you still have a gap between your back and the mat because we're still in neutral spine here. Fist width between the chin and the chest. What I want you to do is just drop that right leg open as far as you're able to without letting your body fall to the side, and then bring it back to the center. And we alternate. We go left leg opens, keeping that 90-degree angle. This is really waking up your whole abdominal wall and kind of also requiring a little bit more of your oblique work, your side abs to work a little bit here too. Press your palms down into the mat. Make sure that you're keeping your neutral spine. If I were to have that teacup down at your lower abs, it wouldn't be spilling right now. Great job. Only go as far to the side as you're able to. It's not about how far you're able to drop your leg. It's really the control of your abs. Make sure you're still breathing here, working the deep, deep core muscles. Doing a great job. Keep going, keep breathing. Great job. We have less than 10 minutes left of class. Do one more on each side. Great. Pull those knees into the chest. Let your lower back sink down into the mat and just sway a little bit here. Whew. There's no joke working abs at the end when they're already like so fatigued from the rest of the workout. All right, we have one more little bit to do in this core series, and then we'll end with some weightless arms, and then we're done. So we're going to come back into that tabletop position. So kind of reset with your neutral spine here. Teacup is nice and steady on the lower abs, gap between the mat and the back. We bring our legs up to tabletop, really engaging your core. What I want you to do with your arms now is just bring them straight up. So straight out of your shoulders with your palms facing one another. And we're going to do some dead bugs in this position. So and there's a couple ways to kind of make this easier or harder. So the hardest version of this would be to extend opposite leg and arm away from one another with your leg completely extended, and then we bring it back to the middle and we alternate, dropping opposite leg and extending the arm overhead. If you want to make it a little bit easier, you don't have to extend the leg. You can keep that 90-degree angle and just tap your toes down to the mat. You can also take the arms out completely and just do tabletop toe taps in this position. Also, you can just do an isometric hold with your tabletop because that's super hard too. So choose your level. Let's go ahead and do a few reps of dead bug, okay? So choose whatever level you are feeling at the end of this workout. This is super hard. We are still breathing as we extend. Whatever level you're at is amazing. If you want to try the harder level, but it's feeling like a little bit too much, but you can almost do it. You can also just extend your leg without lowering it to the ground. So you can just keep it at this diagonal and then bring it back in. Really, no matter which version you choose, your abs are working so hard in this position. So it's all good. All movement is good movement. Everything in my body is shaking right now. Moving with control. Whew, I'm going to go to the tabletop toe taps. It's a little bit too much to extend my legs right now. Keeping neutral spine, that teacup on your lower abs is steady. Gap between your back and the mat. Last one. Oh my God. Those are so hard, especially to do at the very end of our workout. That was crazy. I apologize. That was nuts. All right, we're just swinging knees to chest here. Oh my goodness. Let's stretch out those hip flexors a little bit because that was a lot of work for them. Let's come to a seated position. I just want you to place your hands behind you and just lift your hips up a little bit to kind of stretch out those hip flexors. You can have your palms flat on the mat if that feels better. Roll your shoulders back. That feels nice for the hip flexors. All right, we just have a few minutes left of class. So let's end with some weightless arms, shall we? So let's go ahead and bring our arms to goalpost, and we'll just do a little bit of overhead work here. So let's just do one arm at a time, keeping one arm at an isometric 90-degree hold as we just do overhead presses with the opposite arm. You did fantastic today. Whatever level of intensity you chose for each workout is amazing. I love that you joined me for class today, so thank you so much for that. It means a lot. Let's switch arms. So now we keep that working arm in a 90-degree isometric hold and we work the other arm. Great job. Our abs are nice and strong. We're still breathing. Great job. Just a few more, and then we'll do both arms. Last one, and then we do both arms up together. So you don't want to be leaning back with your upper body going into your lower back. When we put our arms overhead, we want them straight overhead, keeping your trunk nice and tall. Abs are strong. If you can, touch your thumbs together at the top. If you're not able to, that's okay too. Whatever feels good. Burning out the shoulders. Great job. All right, bring your arms down and shake them out a little bit. Give them a little bit of a break, and then we'll just do a couple more little weightless arms moves, and then we'll be done, okay? All right, last thing we'll do is our prayer pulse series. So we'll bring our elbows together, forearms together, palms together, and we're just going to do some pulses in this position. So we pulse from our chin to our nose. So think about your elbow going from chin to nose. So we're not pulsing down, we're pulsing in an upward motion. Squeeze, actively squeeze your forearms together. Actively squeeze your palms together, and you're gonna feel this one a lot. If you're not able to get your palms in your forearms together because of either flexibility or if you have a tight shoulder girdle or chest size or whatever it may be, that's okay because this is still great. Having your arms apart like this, it's still great. So whatever you're able to do is amazing. All right, last thing, we're going to extend our palms out just a little bit. So we're kind of widening the angle here, trying to keep, oh my gosh, this is so hard. Trying to keep our palms squeezing together, forearms squeezing together. Don't arch your back. Your spine is nice and tall. Your abs are on. Just going out as far as you're able to without separating your arms. Just increasing that angle. My arms are shaking. Let's just do 2 more. 2 and 1. Bring them down. Oh my gosh. I need a second to recover from that one. Those are so hard. Oh my goodness. You don't need weight. You don't need a high intensity cardio routine to get your heart rate up, like I've said in this class a few times. So let's clasp our hands behind our back, kind of lean forward a little bit, and just pull your elbows together. If you're able to, I'm double jointed in my elbows, so I'm not going to pop my elbows out like that because that's not helpful for my joints. But just try and push your clasped hands away from your back as much as you're able to kind of stretch those shoulders, roll your shoulders away from your ears. Very good. Slowly release that. Whew, let's stretch out our shoulder girdle too while we're here. So I want you to bend your wrist. So we're at a 90-degree angle here. And then place it right in where your waist is. So right at the bottom of your rib cage, but above your hip bone. And then we just gently pull our elbow forward. And this is going to stretch out your shoulder girdle. This is really, really good for like your shoulder girdle mobility and strength. I love this one. It feels very, very good. If you're not feeling it very much, your hand might be a little bit too much on your stomach or too far onto your back. You want it right directly on your side. And then we'll switch sides. So 90-degree angle here. And then we place that wrist right on our side, bottom of the rib cage, above your hip bone. And we just pull that elbow forward. Remember that we work our bodies because we love our bodies. Movement is not meant to be punishment. Movement is freedom. Movement is celebration. You're getting more mobile. You're getting stronger. You're having a clearer mind. These are the reasons we work out, not because there's something wrong with our bodies. You know, I always want to remind you of that. And myself, I need that reminder every day too. All right. Amazing job. Thank you again so much for joining class today. I hope you enjoyed it. Tell your friends, tell your family, join my Patreon membership if you want to do these exercises anytime, anywhere, and we'll see you in the next class.